Do you have this on your device unless you just want to look at my screen? You're welcome to have it on your device. Lesson 4-8. What is the main idea going to be about? I always have a subject on this cover page. Colson, what's it going to be about?
Wait, do you want me to read what it says?
Well, you can read up here either. What's it going to be about?
Multiply by 3 numbers.
Yes, multiply 3 numbers. And actually, I need to change that to factors. So I'm going to go back to my document right now, and I'm going to change it to factors, because factors are the numbers you multiply together, right?
Yeah.
So, going to. See how easy it could be for me to change it? I get my fingers. Factors. Now, I do that so that it will change everywhere. And I'm going back to get in the right class because I believe I'm in math for green. I need to be in math for white, don't I? It's the same thing, but I want to always make sure that you understand that's where you find your work. Now, just to review, I went back to putting the due dates. Why did I do that? Who can tell me? Don't yell out. Why did I go back putting the due dates on? And that pause is to see if anybody else can come up with the answer. 2 people think they know. Why did I go back and put the due dates on? Lily, why did I do that? What does it do on your Google Classroom when I put a due date? Does it like stick out more? Yes, let me go back and show you. If I go to Math for Krekel, actually if I go to my classes, look what all shows up, see? And it only shows up 2 things. I actually have something else due Thursday. But if I do my sidebar, do your all's classrooms show up that way? All the
No.
different subjects? They don't show up that way?
They don't have due
On
dates.
your main dashboard?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, it's like that.
It's not exactly, but it should be similar.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well, yeah,
Math
if they
for
had the
Green
due
Brinkman. Here's the classwork. And I'm trying to help you by putting the day of the week and the date and the title of the lesson. Because I have a lot of things on here, don't I? Yes, I have lots of things. Going to 1019. It is here. I'm back to my corrected title. Colson, what is it correctly supposed to be? Multiply what?
Multiply 3 factors.
Because factors are the numbers you multiply together to get your what? Who can tell me? What do you call that? Don't say the answer. It's called something else. Dawson, what do you call the answer to a multiplication problem? I've only said it about 20 times in the last week. Help him out, Luke.
Product.
Is he right?
Yes.
So we are multiplying today 3 factors to get to a product. Now, here's the beauty of the associative property and the commutative property of multiplication. Does it matter how I group my factors as to whether my product will change?
No.
Does it change if I switch the order around?
No.
No. The product is always the same. Nobody noticed that in my other class, I can't believe. So when we finish the lesson, we will pull back up and reteach. It will have a review. This says you can use the associative property, but I'm going to suggest you can rearrange the order if you like 2 factors and one of them happens to be the 3rd factor and not the 2nd. Are you okay doing that?
Yes.
You'll have to show me on your paper and in your notes. Can you do that?
Yes.
Okay. Lily, question? Thanks for not calling out. Better hurry back, okay? Guys, I'm extremely warm. Is anybody else warm?
Me.
I'm going to see what the temperature, it was 67, and about 9:15, someone in my class said, can I put on my jacket? I know it's not St. Martha, but it's cold in here, and I looked up there and it was 67. So I want you to kind of look over what we'll be doing together probably in about 15 minutes, maybe 20. We always do the reteach together. If I'm running short on time, we might only do certain parts of the reteach. Is that okay? Is that okay?
Yes.
So an answer of yes or nodding or raising your hand or a thumbs up is really all I wanted. I didn't want any weird sounds. For green, only got to do odd because we decided they were pretty challenging. They were much more challenging than the ones we had done earlier on the PowerPoint lesson and in our book. That's what scratch paper is for. Does anyone use scratch paper or a whiteboard when they're doing math? Good. So would you please don't start the homework. This will be your homework for tonight. On both slides, what I've written in print that's kind of hard to read says, show me which two factors you multiplied first. Got it? I'll be right back. Yes. Actually, if you'll stay here for a second, I'm good. I just need to see that.
Is it working? Oh, we got the electrical? Okay. Alright, that's it. Check it out. Remember to count to 3 and check. You should be good. Are you learning a new skill?
No, we've never did this.
Well, then that's new. Which one are you doing?
Oh, this is our homework.
Multiply 3 factors.
You say 3 factors? Oh, you'll be able to figure that out.
Can we do
No problem.
This is really today. How are you feeling?
How's your mom? She's hanging out.
That's it. Yeah.
You all were so respectful, Mrs. Thornsberry. Thank you. So when you do your homework tonight, please, you will need to rewrite the problem with the factors. For instance, let me just show you what I'm talking about. On number 1, it is 3 times 1 times 2. Now you don't have to write, or times 6. Times 6. You do not have to write that problem in your notes. But if you want to multiply 3 times 1 first, you'll need to say 3 times 6. Just like that.
Oh, that's easy.
See what I'm saying? But if you wanted to do 6 times 1, then you would say, either way, what's the product of number 1? Everybody? Surely you know this. 18, my goodness. That should be your first answer. When you show me your work tomorrow, I don't want 18. I don't want just 18. I want you to show me how you multiply. Do you understand?
Yes.
And when we do our classwork on a reteach, I want the same thing. Now, question. Lily, did you get to go out to the restroom?
There's class.
Okay, so that was probably a few seconds ago. Give it about 2 more minutes. Okay, now I will go back to page 172, and I'm going to tell you, not gonna, the practice on my PowerPoint and in the big book that we did, it wasn't nearly as hard as the reteach. So just be prepared when you choose 2 factors to multiply them times the 3rd factor. You may need to do it vertically. Okay, you may need to do it like this. And then you might need to show your multiplication that way. You all did that with Miss Lang, right? Right? Surely you did. Okay. 172. You want to do a 5-minute check just to kind of rattle your brain from last week?
Yeah.
Yes. Good. We'll start. It must be a word problem though, because we did 4-7 on Friday. We did a really good job on our partner solving Friday, right?
Yes.
Really good job. Let's look at this word problem. Now it says to use the make a table strategy, but you may be able to solve it without it. Letitia's on a swim team that practices, now get this, 4 days each week, and each practice is 3 hours long. You think she's an Olympic swimmer? I don't know. Lakeside maybe? Definitely very competitive, right? How many hours per week does Leticia have swim practice? I'll give you a few seconds to figure out that. Don't throw your hand up yet. Look at it. I see the numbers 4 and 3. Think about the choices. Are there any choices you could eliminate right away? I mean, any choices you could eliminate right away? Mary? Which one would you eliminate?
7 hours.
She's right, isn't she? Somebody who doesn't know how to do math would say 4 and 3, 4 plus 3 is 7. That's not reasonable, is it, Mary? No. So now you're down to 3 choices. You have 15 seconds. If you have your answer selected, put your head down. We might not even need those 15 seconds. Well, I don't think we do. Anybody want to give me the answer? We know it's the product, right? Because we're going to multiply, aren't we? Did you write this one in your notes? Colson, how many hours per week does Leticia practice?
12 hours?
Is he right?
Yes.
Right to him. Good job, Colson.
Wait, the answer was 12?
Now, if you had made a table, and again, making a table's not a bad thing, you would have done this. You would have done like this, or you could have even just done a T. And you could have put day and hour, okay? In one day, Colson, she practiced how many hours?
3 hours?
In 2 days, she practiced,
6,
okay, 3 days, she practiced,
9,
and in 4 days, she practiced.
12.
Okay, or some of you would say, I can skip count by 3s. Any of you can skip count by 3s? Good,
3s are in.
good. How many of you got that one? Wave to Colson. So next time maybe I'll pull your stick out. That was the only one they had. Now, here is where I wish I had a smarter board. It says, I will multiply 3 factors. Would you write this in your notes, please?
Yes.
And Lily, after you write it, you can go, after you add a couple of things to that main idea, I'll let you go to the rest of it, okay? They should be there. Okay. If the board was smarter, I would put a line off here and a line off there, and I would put associative or ASSOC. We know that means that no matter how you, what are these symbols? Parentheses. That's the part you do first. Let's do it again. What are these?
Parentheses.
That tells us the part we do
First.
associative. But some of you may decide, just like in the example on the board that we just did, you might decide you want to multiply the first factor times the third factor. So you would rewrite it, and you would put the first factor and the third factor in what? Parentheses, because you would do it first. Then you would multiply it by the third factor. So I suggest that you add on, after the word factors, associative, now you may abbreviate if you know what that means, and commutative. Again, you may abbreviate if you know what it means. I did not want to limit us to just doing them in the order that they've written them. I think that's not fair. Some of us think differently than others, and we might decide that we want to do the first factor and the third factor. But if you do the first factor times the second factor, or you do the second factor times the third factor, that's always which property?
Associative.
Because you didn't change the order. But I want to give you the opportunity, and Lily, after you've added associative and commutative, then you may go. Will we stop learning while somebody's in the restroom?
No.
Question, Grayson, thank you for raising your hand.
Are we gonna have a timekeeper?
Would you like to be the timekeeper?
Sure.
Thank you. And I feel the air kicking on. It was kind of stale in here. So let's see. Why don't we do about 30 minutes? Okay, that way that'll give me time for us to get packed up and maybe even do a trivia question at the door. Here you go. I know you've done this in third grade, haven't you?
No,
Yes. I don't remember.
not multiplying.
Not with multiplying? Well,
No.
it's the first time for it. First time for everything. Let's look in your book. How many of you like baseball cards? How many of you like to collect anything? So it doesn't, did you get to go? Well, you could have been the third one. Why didn't you just go?
No, there was like,
Two classes?
no, there was 3 people in there and then 2 people waiting.
I would have still stayed. Okay, I'd go ahead and go back. If it's not a whole class, you have my permission to go and wait in the line, okay? But that wouldn't take long. It would take longer to walk back and tell the teacher that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, unless somebody's messing around in the bathroom. Okay. So, what do you like to collect, Grayson? Do you like sports cards, or because I said collect anything?
I usually collect marble action figures.
Okay, Marvel action figures. And do you buy them in packages or are they individual?
I like have a shelf that I put them on.
Okay, okay. How about you, Mary Kate? What do you like to collect?
I collect rocks.
And you don't have to buy those, right? Usually.
Right. Usually geodes because there's a lot in my grandparents' yard.
Okay. Brady, what do you like to collect?
Bobbleheads from the bat.
Bobbleheads. I love those bobbleheads. My son did an internship for the Reds, the Cincinnati Reds, and people were crazy about those
I have
bobbleheads.
a Black Panther and Captain America.
Yes. And can you pull your mask up over your nose? What do you like to collect, Melanie?
They're like little pet shop things.
Uh-huh.
Animals.
And you have to buy those, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Last person, Annabelle, what do you like to collect?
I like collecting scraps, which are, they're like long sticks.
Oh, okay.
They're about as tall as me.
Emma?
One makes me collect like they're like limited edition type of.
Oh, and limited edition usually means they cost more, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, this young man is collecting baseball cards. Now, it's getting close to the World Series, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's really. My husband's so glad that there some baseball came back. It wasn't a whole season, but the same with college football. The seasons are shorter. NFL is shorter. Not many people are in attendance, if any. So we're back to that. So anyway, there are 2 baseball cards in each pack. There are 6 packs in each box. If Raul buys 3 boxes for his collection, he must have saved up some birthday money or allowance or something, right?
Right.
I see the wall of all the collector cards at Target. Have y'all ever seen that wall? At my Target, they're almost right by the checkout. I don't like it that they put them right there because if I had younger children, that would be like they were too hard for me to drive the cart by and they would start screaming for them. You know any kids that ever do that? They beg for things. So, it says use the associative property of multiplication, or you could use commutative, to figure out how many total cards he will have. So let's go down to the bottom. You can multiply 2 times 6, and they put that product, they put those numbers in what? Parentheses, to tell you to do them first. Then they bring down, or they don't change the 3, it just keeps coming down. And then they multiply 12 times 3. Now, if you don't know your 12 spots, you would have to do this, wouldn't you? You know that's how you can get your 12s, right?
Yeah.
3 times 2 is?
6,
3 times 1 is?
3.
Or you could know your 12 stacks and know 3 times 12 is 36.
Yeah.
Or you could say, I really like 6 times 3. What is 6 times 3? That's in the second way or the another way. What's 6 times 3, Dawson?
I wasn't raised with
Okay, well, it's on the another way. Could you look on the bottom where it says another way? What is 6 times 3? They put it in parentheses. Down at the bottom. What's 6 times 3? At the bottom, where it says another way.
36.
No, that's
Oh.
2 times 18. What's 6 times 3, Colton?
What?
6 times 3.
18.
Times 2 is then 36. What you need, Dawson?
I was wondering if I could go to the restroom.
You can. Do you have your math notebook out? Because it doesn't look like you do. Do I need to walk around to each person? Lily, where's your math notebook? You got it out? So when you don't have your math notebook, you need to get a piece of loose leaf paper. Right. And so, Dawson, you need to do that when you get back. Get a piece of loose leaf paper out. And please put in the main idea. Today's date is the 19th. And hurry back, please. Okay. Let's do a couple on the board. On the not so smart board, okay? I will turn off the front light. Mrs. Chu. Never met Mrs. Chu before. Mrs. Chu is ordering some fruit bars. You know, like those Kellogg's or some of the Nutri-Grain. They're good. To sell at the baseball concession stand. Are they having the concession stands open? Anybody who's been at a baseball park where they're...
Well,
Are they?
I haven't been to a baseball park, but I went to this pre-tryout, and they had those concession stands open.
So here's something interesting though. Each box of fruit bars contains 3 bars. And each bar has 2 pieces. Now before COVID, Mrs. Chu probably couldn't sell the pieces individually, could she? But she could sell you a bar that had 2 and then you could split it with somebody else, right?
Right.
Do you remember those good old days?
Yeah.
You could split it with somebody on the bench of if you were playing baseball, if you weren't up to bat or out on the field, or you could split it with somebody in the seating area. Well, now the kids are all spread out all over the seats, right? And then the parents, don't they have to watch from like
Yeah.
in their own seats way out? Yeah. So anyway, how many pieces did she order? Total pieces. Who could tell me the math problem? Who could tell me the math problem? You know it will have 3 factors, right? Right? Hopefully you figured that out. I'm pausing because there should be more hands up. 4 boxes, fruit bars. Each box contains 3 bars. Each bar has 2 pieces. What are my factors? Jaden, what are my factors? How many boxes of fruit bars?
4.
How many?
4.
And each box contains how many bars?
3.
And each bar contains how many pieces, Jaden?
2.
And what will we use to connect it? Plus sign or multiplication sign? Because that's our main idea today, right?
Yes.
Jaden, which 2 of those 3 factors would you multiply together first? You can do 4 times 3, 3 times 2, or you can do 4 times 2. Any way you do it, you're still going to get the same product.
4 times 3.
What is 4 times 3? So I put parentheses around those because I wanted, she said to do those first.
12.
12, is she right?
Yes.
Good job. Jaden, so far so good. And then 12 times 2, what's that? That's 2 dozen. If you don't know the facts of 12s, you can come over on the side and do this. You want to walk through this with me?
Sure.
What's 2 times 2? What'd you say?
She said 4.
And 2 times 1?
2.
So what is 12 times 2, Jaden?
24.
How many of you got that? Please write it in your notes. Did anybody want to multiply 3 times 2 instead of 4 times 3?
I'm gonna put 4 times 2.
Nobody?
I'm gonna put 4 times 2 first.
4 times what?
2.
Oh! Luke did the commutative. He did 4 times 2, which is what, Luke?
8.
And then 8 times 3?
24.
Did he get the same product that Jaden did?
Yes.
Yes. He used commutative because he reversed the order. So if you reverse the order, it's commutative. If you do it in the order that it's written, it is associative. And I'm looking for a purple. Wait, I'll look for a purple over here. So Dawson, you have a little catching up to do. Or somebody might have wanted to have done 3 times 2. What's 3 times 2? Lily? 6 times 4. You can use your number line. We know what it is? Is she right?
Yes.
Yes. So we got a 24. We got a 24. We got a 24. Luke was the only one that changed the order, so his is commutative. Jaden's and Lily's is associative. And you can make that look however you'd like it to look in your notes. I try to use color just like Mr. Khan does on the Khan Academy, because I think a color helps it to stand out. Don't you agree?
Yes.
And sometimes he picks up the wrong marker and he'll say, oh, and then he tries to erase it. Have you ever had one of those?
Yes.
Yes, he's not perfect. So let's see how they did it on the board. Jaden told us 4 times 3. They have 2 ways here. They did it the way Jaden did it and got 12 times 2. They got 24. And they did it the way Lily did it, which is 6 times 4 is 24. You know why they didn't do the 3rd way? Because it was commutative, Luke, right? But I want you to know you can reverse the order of the factors. Okay? Wave to me if you understand that. Some of you aren't waving to me. I want it to be as easy as possible for you to get the product. Again, what's the product? The answer to a multiplication problem. Okay, so Dawson, it looks like you found your math notebook.
I had it.
Oh, the Lily was the one that didn't have hers. So it looks like you got a little bit of work to do. On 172, the main idea is I will multiply 3 factors, and then I put little lines and put commutative and associative and abbreviations. And then this is the one that we did next. This makes me hungry. And Dawson, I'm going to leave that on so you can catch up. Read this problem. Think about your 3 factors. And when you have a product, put your head down. Think about the 3 factors. Pick 2 to multiply together first. Then you get that product and multiply it by your 3rd factor. And then you get a final what? Product. Brady, are you with us? You feel okay? Because you look like you're sleeping. So we're doing this one. Can you read it? Yep. Can you pull your mask up above your nose, please?
Mr. Hopkins ordered 3 boxes of cookies. Each box contains 3 packs of cookies. Each pack contains 2 cookies. How many total cookies did he order?
And thank you, Brady. So I'll give you about 20 more seconds to figure out how many total cookies. Now again, COVID, you can't split the pack, can you? No, they have to be individual. 15 seconds. If I see your head down, I know you're ready to give me an answer. Your product. Which ones did you multiply first? Does that matter?
No.
No, because of the commutative property and the associative property. 10 seconds? You're still working, right, Mary?
I'm done.
Oh, you're finished, so put your head down. Are y'all finished or no? You see it, Dawson?
Yeah.
3 boxes of cookies, each box contains 3 packs, and each pack contains 2 cookies. How many cookies? So I'm gonna give Dawson and Jaden a few more seconds to figure out which answer they think is right. Did you all rule any answers out? Did you eliminate any answers?
Yes.
Did you eliminate B?
Yeah.
Surely to goodness. How about D? It's a dog.
Yep.
It's either gonna be A or C. I don't know, I think A is too small a number too, don't you? But you have to prove to me why you chose your answer. Anybody wanna give me the product? Good, I like to see hands up. Mary Gordon, how many total cookies did he order?
18.
Is she right?
Yes.
Good job.